Hey guys, and welcome to my channel ESP. I'm Daniela, and today I'll be talking to you guys about how to win scholarships. Now, before I get straight into details about how I've been able to win several scholarships throughout my senior year, I want to share with you some statistics about student loan debts here in America right now. So currently, the overall number of student loan borrowers is at 44 million people. And that's around 70% of college students. And the national student loan debt is at $1.4 trillion. So because of this reality and the financial circumstances of my family and whatnot, I decided to apply for over 80 scholarships. And of those 80, I've been awarded quite a few, enough to fund most of my freshman year and then some of my other years, because you know how some scholarships they may be $1,000 per year or $2,000 per year. So the money is like scattered around, but for the most part it is concentrated within my freshman year. So since I've gotten a lot of questions from some friends, classmates, underclassmen, teachers, and even some of their parents on how I've been able to win so many scholarships, I decided to make this video so that I can share with you guys tips and strategies on how you too can get money to finance your education. So with that being said, I recommend that you guys go ahead and pause this video real quick, grab a pen and paper, and take some notes because I'm going to be covering a lot of material today. Now, the very first tip that I have is that Google is your best friend. Now, I'm not talking about the part of Google that you use during class to help with your class ranking and GPA. I'm talking about the part of Google of where you're making the Gmail and using Google Documents. I recommend that you go ahead and make another Google account if you don't already have one that's only dedicated to scholarship and college related things. And so your username can be something like first name _ last name .scholarships@gmail.com, something along those lines, so you know that that is specifically only for college and scholarship related material. So when you open up your Google Drive, you should go ahead and make several folders to organize yourself. So one folder can be specifically for essays that are required for college and scholarships, scholarship applications, like the blank versions of those applications, then completed applications, award letters, and general info. And so within the general info folder will include general information such as your FAFSA, ACT, SAT, AP test scores, extracurricular, club activities, other things you've been involved in, community service, letters of recommendation. Okay, so this is what your Google Drive should look as far as the email address that's solely dedicated to college stuff. But as you can see, I have some things that are totally unrelated. But anyways, so the folders that you should have within your Google Drive should be essays, award letters of when you are awarded a certain scholarship, because like when you go to your certain school, they're going to ask for award letters so they can take further details on how they can apply that to your student report, your financial aid, whatever. And then of course the scholarship applications uncompleted, like the empty versions of them, then the actual completed applications, and then the general info, which of course will include things like your FAFSA, extracurricular, testing scores, community service, stuff like that. Also, go ahead and download Google Drive to your desktop computer so you can also have access to your drive even when you're offline and you have no internet access. Okay, so now on to the next tip, which of course is research. Now, there is something that I like to call the hierarchy of scholarships, and at the top of that hierarchy are local scholarships, then university and state scholarships, then national scholarships. You see, what a lot of people like to do when they're first starting off applying for scholarships, which is what I did when I first started, is to mainly only focus on national-based scholarships, meaning the ones that can easily be found with a quick online Google search. What you actually want to do is to stray away from applying for too many of those, because you got to understand that with those scholarships, because it's national-based, that means that there's going to be more competition, meaning that you are less likely to be awarded scholarship money. So, with that being said, instead, you should focus most of your attention on local scholarships, state scholarships, and university scholarships, the ones that are offered from whatever university you're trying to attend. So examples of some local-based scholarships include ones that are offered from your school district, city, county, certain organizations that you've been involved in, perhaps where you've done community service. Maybe they offer a scholarship for their junior volunteers, or you can apply for scholarships through fraternities and sororities. Now, what I want to say about fraternities and sororities is that do not think that they discriminate by gender, meaning that you know how fraternities are catered towards males and sororities are catered towards females. Well, even if you are a male applying for a sorority scholarship, or you are a female applying for a fraternity scholarship, that doesn't necessarily mean that they won't award you money. My personal experience, I didn't apply for any sorority scholarships. I was too late and I didn't do my research properly, so I mainly focused on fraternity scholarships. And of the 2 fraternity scholarships that I applied for, I was a finalist in both and I was awarded one of them. Another piece of advice is to become very acquainted with your counselor, teachers, other administration at your school. If your school has a Go Center, then please, please, please utilize that center, because that has been so beneficial to me throughout my senior year. Also, don't be afraid to contact family members, friends, church members, organization members, and reach out to them to notify you whenever they come across an opportunity, a scholarship that they think that you would qualify for. And the last thing that I want to say about local scholarships is that they tend to be a lot harder to find online. So you may have to go with more traditional ways of how to find where that scholarship is, by like searching through your local magazine or newspaper, things like that. Okay, so on to the next tip, eligibility. You must thoroughly read the eligibility requirements. So long story short, about 2 months ago in May, I got a phone call and the guy on the phone told me that I had been awarded a $20,000 scholarship. And of course I was freaking out, and it was so crazy because, and ironic really, that I was just about to go to my baccalaureate ceremony, which is a religious ceremony for graduates that choose to participate in it. But anyways, like, I was praising the Lord and everything. But then once we got further in conversation about the details of the scholarship, he asked me, "Are you going to such and such school?" No, I wasn't. So because I wasn't going to that specific school and I already dedicated myself to another university, I was not awarded the money. I had to decline the offer. That still hurts. So yeah, don't be like me. Make sure that you thoroughly read the eligibility requirements. Even if you fit all the criteria, but then there's that one part where it says you're too old, or you're not the right gender they're looking for, or not the right ethnic background you're looking for, don't apply for it. You're wasting your time. They're not going to pick you. Okay, so the next tip is to create a scholarship database. With Google Docs, you can create this database to plan for scholarships that you have already applied for or plan on applying for. If the scholarship you are applying for is web-based, then all you have to do is copy and paste the URL, and at the end of that URL, put in the day and the month that it is due in capital letters. If the scholarship is print-based, meaning it never really had a digital version in the first place, then you just type in the name of the scholarship and do the same thing at the end with the day and the month that it is due. Also, at the end of the URLs or the title of that certain scholarship, you want to label what kind of scholarship it is, such as, is the scholarship merit-based? Do you have to write a personal essay, or do you have to write a research essay? Make sure that you take note of that, because for instance, if you're writing a personal essay, that's not going to take you as long as writing a research essay, because with a personal essay, you already know yourself. So it's not going to take as long. Whereas a research essay, you're researching something that you probably don't already know about. So you got to take more time, more effort into that certain scholarship as compared to other ones. And so once you have actually completed that certain scholarship, write in bold capital letters, completed, so to remind yourself that it is done and that you don't have to worry about it for the time being, and you can move on to another scholarship. Now, for some scholarships that you have already applied for, you may be eligible to apply for again the next year. So even if you are not awarded the scholarship that year, perhaps you can still reapply for that scholarship. So what I have to say about that is to put like several asterisks in front of that URL or the title of that scholarship, so to remind yourself that even though you didn't get it this year, or if it's a monthly based scholarship, you always have a second or multiple chances to try again. And the last tip that I have about scholarship databases is to put exclamation marks at the ones that you know are going to take an extra long time to apply for as compared to others. For instance, some scholarships may require for you to not only write an essay but do a lot of application stuff, such as they want the people who are writing you the letters of recommendation to go online to their portal and put it in themselves rather than you putting it in for them. So you got to give those people who are recommending you time to do that themselves, because you don't know their schedule. So these are the type of scholarships that you do not want to do at the very last minute or the day of. Okay, so this is how I like to organize the scholarships that I've applied for online. I copy and paste the URL, and then at the end of that I put the due date of when it is due, and as you can see I kind of section it off by its due date, its month area. And once I actually do complete a scholarship, I write complete in bold letters, so to remind myself. And as you can see, some of the ones that I've applied for have like a little asterisk next to them. That tells me that even if I do not win this scholarship this year, then that means I'm still eligible to apply for it next year, so I still have like a second chance at it. Okay, so here is my Everything College-Based binder, and in here I have the financial packet that I have been offered from my university of choice, as well as pamphlets for the residence halls and other things going on campus. Then on this page I have my testing scores such as ACT, SAT, and AP testing. And I also have the financial packets I have been offered from other universities that I have applied for and have been accepted into, but in the end decided not to attend. And over here are some of the printout applications of other scholarships that I have applied for, whether that is that I've won them or did not win them. And so on this page I have my transcripts and community service, extracurricular things printed out. So these are my official and unofficial transcripts from my high school, and then since I took some dual credit classes through a community college, this is my official transcript through them. And also what I like to do is have a printout of my community service hours that have been verified by Xsuval. Over here I have my letters of recommendation, and what I recommend to you guys is when you're getting your letters of recommendation done, make sure that the teacher uses an official letterheading as well as putting their signature down below. And also stray away from asking for letters of recommendation from teachers or other faculty who don't know you well, don't like you, don't have good writing skills, you know, or they're not good with managing their time, meaning they're not going to get their letter of recommendation to you on time. So yeah, stay away from those people. You may love them and everything, but this is college. You got to know who you can depend on to get things through. So yeah, with what that clip just showed you, you should make sure that you have your scholarship award letters, because when you go up to your university and you go to the scholarship financial aid department, they need to process that so they can apply it to your student report, your financial report for that university. Also, here's a fun tip. Make sure that you know your social security number. Don't be like me at the very beginning of the process, constantly asking my mother, what is my social security number? You got to have that by memory. Also know by memory if you've already committed to a certain university, your username, password, email address that that university gave you, so you're not constantly having to reference and look around for that information. Okay, so the next tip are deadlines. You must pay attention to not only deadlines but also time zones. If you are applying for a national based scholarship and it is based in some other state that is outside your time zone, you have to take note of that, because this is a scholarship that you cannot apply for at the last minute. Okay, story time again. So there was this one scholarship. It was a research-based essay scholarship, and I had to write a 5-page essay about water conservation. and I did my research. I was really proud of the final product, and it was due at midnight, and I submitted it just 10 minutes before midnight. So I thought, yay, I finally got this in. I can go to bed and be rest assured. Well, when I went back to the eligibility requirements of that certain scholarship, I found out that it was in a different time zone than me. I live in Texas and it was located in New York, so they're 1 hour ahead. So I thought I was on time, but in reality I was several minutes late from the deadline. So yeah, make sure that you are aware of not only deadlines but also time zones. Okay, next tip. You have to create a resume. Now, the resume that you use for college and scholarship related things is slightly different from the resume that you would use when you're applying for a job. Of course, you're going to need your contact information such as your home address, email address, and phone number. But in addition to that, you're going to need your extracurricular activities, organizations you've been involved in, community service, awards, honors that you have received. Also, don't just list them out. Elaborate on what exactly it was that you did within that certain activity. Give about 1 or 2 sentences of reflection and description, because overall, as far as presentation, it makes it look a lot more thorough and presentable and professional. So yeah. Now, essays. Oh my gosh. At the center of every scholarship, in my opinion, is the essay. So I will dedicate a video specifically only to scholarship essays. But as far as essays, I recommend that you go ahead and download this free software that I use on a day-to-day basis called Grammarly. And honestly, I thank this software so much, not only for my college essays, scholarship essays, but also essays that I need to write for like classes, English class. Yeah, download Grammarly. It's free to use and it's awesome. It picks up a lot of errors that not even Microsoft Word can pick up. So overall, your essay will seem a lot more professional, presentable, and better. Okay, so presentation. Have a digital version of your scholarship application, whether it's a true digital version or you scanned it in. For instance, let's say that a teacher hands you a scholarship application that they think that you are perfect for. So you start filling out the general information, but then you're reading back over what you filled out and you notice that you misspelled something or that you left like a hot Cheeto stain on the paper. The last thing you want to do is use Whiteout. So that's why I stress to already have several copies of that same scholarship application. So even if you do make errors, you can start all over again. Moving on, have a cover letter for your scholarship application, whether that is that you're submitting it digitally or in print. But this especially applies to scholarship applications that have to physically be sent in. So what you can do is to go ahead and do a quick Google search of that certain organization, go to Google Images, and once you come across their official brand, their official logo, you just copy that image and paste it onto a Word document, and then right underneath that document you can put your name and the title of the scholarship. Okay, so another free online website that I like to use is Combine PDF. And with this website, of course, you can combine PDFs, but it also includes other functions that you can do. However, the other part of this that I like is that you can convert anything to a PDF besides videos, but you can convert anything such as images and Word documents. And so all you have to do is like drag and drop a file that you want to be converted into a PDF, and then it processes it. Gotta wait for it to load. Load. But anyways, once it finishes loading, it will show up here, and then you can choose download it all. It will light up the same color blue as this up here, and it will be properly converted to being a PDF. Okay, so this is the free online website that I like to use to edit PDFs. And so you can either drag and drop a file or choose a file. So I'm going to choose this file here and then open, and then it will process it, and it leads you directly to this page. And then with this application, it has a lot of stuff that it wants me to fill out. So say I need to put in text, I can do that here. type in my name, and you can also bold it and make it bigger, and use whiteout if there's like a certain error on it, and it automatically gets rid of it. And then when you're ready to save it and everything, you just click here and it saves directly right here, and you will see the edits that you made. So yeah. Now for the next tip, mailing. Now when it comes to mailing, you can do one of two things. You can either physically drive up to the certain address that it's supposed to be sent to, see the people face to face so they can already familiarize themselves with you, and perhaps that gives you an edge against other scholarship applicants. Or you can just go ahead and send it to the postal office and they'll mail it off for you. Now with me, I tend to be very paranoid about mailing things off. And the last thing that I want to happen is for my hard work to not be recognized because it was sent to the wrong mailbox. So what I like to do with my applications is to put a tracker on them. And even after I put a tracker on that certain scholarship, I tend to, after a week or so, contact the scholarship board committee and ask them, did they ever receive my scholarship? Okay, so another story time. There was this one scholarship that I applied for. I mailed it off. It had a tracker on it. It said that it arrived to its appropriate destination. So then I contacted the scholarship committee and they said that they never got it. Well, apparently the postal office put it in the wrong postal box. It was supposed to be in the box to the right, but it was sent to the box to the left. So had I not contacted the scholarship committee and asked them personally if they received my application or not, in the end, I would not have been awarded that certain scholarship. Okay, so when you're mailing off scholarships, you should already have these kind of envelopes already on deck. And make sure that you have plenty of stamps because, you know, when you're mailing off stuff, it requires stamps. Okay, so the last tip that I have for you guys today are reminders, whether that's reminding yourself that, hey, this scholarship is due on this certain date, or reminding yourself with your digital calendar that's on your phone or your tablet that, hey, the results for this certain scholarship will be set on this date or within this area, this time frame. Also, regularly check your junk mail and spam mail, because you never know when some important information may accidentally be filtered to that rather than your main inbox. For instance, there was these two scholarships that I applied for and they sent me an email, but it got filtered to my junk mail for whatever reason, and one was telling me that I was a finalist in that scholarship and the other one was telling me that I had been awarded that scholarship. So had I not checked my junk, my spam mail that day, they would have thought, oh, she doesn't want this scholarship, she's not answering back. So make sure you check those, whether that's once a week or every other week. Just make that a habit. Okay, so that's all that I have for you guys today. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and especially share this video with your family, friends, church members, organization members, whoever you are associated with, so they too can learn for themselves or for someone that they know how to win scholarships. Because I understand, I know firsthand just how expensive college can be. So my mission with producing this video is to help you guys win scholarships and be free from the financial burdens that come with going to college. With that being said, don't forget to comment in the comment section down below. I will be answering some of your questions. Also, don't forget to check the description box down below, which will include some of the free online softwares and applications that I was talking about earlier on in this video, and also other free websites that I use on a day-to-day basis when I'm applying for scholarship stuff, college stuff, or anything really. My next two videos will be catered towards scholarship essays and scholarship interviews. So, with that being said, bye.